May I extend a very warm welcome to the hundreds of St Ronanites in the hall tonight, as well as 8,000 friends from other towns. We have with us this evening visitors from Peebles, West Linton, Pencook, Galashiels, Selkirk, Melrose, Duns, Lanark, Biggar, Lauder and Edinburgh. I hope I've not missed anyone. Some of the kindness and hospitality that's been shown to our representatives as we have travelled around the borders this year. Many of you will have already enjoyed your own festivals, but for those who have not, I offer my best wishes for a successful time. We're very fortunate in the borders to be able to celebrate our history each year and to continue the links between towns which are unique to this area. Each year, we are joined by guests from overseas, and this year is no exception. We have guests from Austria and Canada. A very warm St Ronans welcome to you all. I hope you enjoy your time with us, and I hope that when you return home, you have many memories of your happy time in Innerleithen. We are also joined this evening by the parents of our standard bearer and lass, Lady Busser, Duxes, Monks and Sash Girls. Welcome to you all. You should be very proud of your children. It is also a pleasure to welcome our past principals to the Cleikum. This year we have with us our joint Dux boys from 1974, Graham Meikle and Colin Cox, 1964 Standard Bearers Lass Viv Melrose, 1974 Standard Bearers Lass Susan Jansons, as well as 1999 Standard Bearer and Lass Mark Ratty and Tracy Russell. Congratulations, I hope you enjoy your evening. Following the ceremony here in the hall, we would request that all guests please proceed to the war memorial for the service for the fallen. Coaches will then be on hand to transport guests to St Ronans Wells. However, visiting principals who would like to are asked to march to the wells with St Ronans standard bearer and other Cleikum principals. Our Cleikum reception will be here in the hall, so guests are invited to report the coaches at the completion of the ceremony at the wells to return here. As an organisation, the Games is always looking for opportunities to improve our festival, responding to the town's ever-changing demographic, and this year is no exception. However, the fundamental values will remain now and always: history, tradition and community. Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy the Cleikum Ceremonies 2024. of this ancient town, we proclaim you, our chosen titular head, the representative, true and undisputed, according to our judgment and in virtue of your own individual merits, as most worthy to sustain and uphold the honour that time and tradition attribute to our patron St Ronan, as shown forth in the history, the heraldry, and legendary of our arms. By the deeds of our ancestors, we are enabled to walk into a higher light, a wider freedom, and a broader truth. As a memorial of this proud retrospect, we bequeath to you the symbols of a noble and triumphant past, a heritage that is yours and ours. And by the might of your knowledge and understanding, battle for the right and despise evil, seek the good in your native town, cherish its old associations and perpetuate its high name. So shall you honour your office and hand down the banner of St Ronan, undimmed and untarnished, to be the glory and boast of future generations.
Customs old, and we observe them, in the ceremony of bussing the crozier in staves. During this, the audience is requested to join in singing the first and last verses of On St Ronans. With the might of your understanding and your knowledge, battle for the right and despise evil. Watch and pray.
Born in Musselburgh in 1950, then moved to Edinburgh where he attended school at Leith Academy. Following his graduation in business management at the Scottish College of Textiles, he took up employment with Johnson & Johnson, where he enjoyed a long and distinguished career. His final role was Director for African Affairs, where he participated in many programmes related to the training of healthcare workers and individuals serving the most disadvantaged members of society in Africa. After 40 years' service, he retired from Johnson & Johnson to pursue voluntary opportunities in the community and act as a consultant to international NGOs addressing issues of women's health and access to surgery in Africa. He is passionate about our community link with the village of Tondwe in Malawi, which was established by Innerleithen Jaquair and Walkerburn Church over 15 years ago. He is an active Rotarian and a past president of Innerleithen, Walkerburn and Jaquair Rotary Club. He's married with 2 adult children and is a proud grandfather to his 4 grandchildren. Innerleithen has been his home now for 33 years, where he has made many friends and enjoys spending time in the outdoors, walking the hills and being in and on the water. Like many of you, he also enjoys getting out in the hills on his bike. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a very warm welcome to our principal guest for 2024, Mr. Dennis Robson.
Good evening, friends. My spotlight time has now come, and I have to say right up front that I'm incredibly honoured to be standing here before you as the principal guest of St Ronans Border Games for 2024. And as you can well imagine, I've had countless friends and strangers as I've walked the streets of Innerleithen wishing me luck, sending me cards, and obviously also offering advice on what I should put into my speech. So if you're out there, thank you very much. I was listening, truly I was. And also to the flag party, who I hope I can now call friends, because I spent a lot of time with them this week. They've also been giving me advice because they've attended many of these ceremonies and they've listened to many, many speeches. So thank you to all of you, and I hope that this does justice to you and the honour that you have given me. So I'm sure that for many of you, like myself and my wife Marjorie, Games Week comes and Games Week goes, and very often we have very little thought to what's needed to make it all happen. And now the fact that it's contributing to a long history of St Ronans Borders Games. As we all know, it was first run in 1827, and the Cleikum Ceremonies that were celebrated first in 1901. And that's not all bad for a wee town of less than 3,500 people. And I'd like us all to pay very, very special tribute to the Games Week Committee for the incredible work that goes on behind the scenes. So please join me in giving them a very, very big thank you. And being part of the week, Margie and I have witnessed the tremendous effort that goes on by all the principals, everyone that's involved. Games Week seems a bit of a puzzle sometimes to many of us. But with all the rehearsals that we've been attending, it's brought all the pieces together, and I now understand it a lot better. And we have some really, really talented youngsters tonight with us, so they also should be congratulated, and you should all be very, very proud of them. Congratulations. Well, the invitation, I have to say, came as a real surprise to me, because as my family and certain of my friends know, that at the beginning of every year, I like to make out a list, and that's not New Year's resolutions. That's a list of things that I plan to do in the coming year ahead. So there was going to be 24 things to do in 24. Now there's 25, because I had no intentions of being standing here in front of you tonight. That certainly wasn't on my mind in January when I came together. But thank you for this opportunity. Margie and I, we met in Galashiels of all places, and we spent the first part of our married life in Peebles. But it took us 10 years to see the light before we moved down the Tweed Valley to Innerleithen, where we have been here for 33 years. And boy, have we seen, in the 33 years, we've seen this town change. When we arrived here first, we had a famous textile industry where we're sending beautiful cashmere garments all around the world. But it was sadly in decline, and then eventually most of it moved out overseas. Innerleithen at that time was still a town with a very strong identity, but it was struggling economically, and it was looking for some direction. But gradually this town, which really needed to reinvent itself, responded to local interests and the development of outdoor activities. It's given Innerleithen a real new sense of life, a new sense of purpose. But somehow, despite all of that, we've managed to retain our sense of identity and all of our traditions. Innerleithen has embraced change, and the place is really buzzing. It's become a serious visitor destination and very much a desirable place to live. On our high street and online, Innerleithen is a vibrant business community that's the envy of many other border towns. And I believe the future is bright here. We must take every effort to shine a spotlight on our town, bring visitors from around the country and overseas to experience what we've got here. I love traveling, spending time with my family and friends, and enjoying outdoor adventures. And I suppose, rather selfishly, I enjoy chasing my dreams. During my working life, I spent many experiences traveling around the world, and in the process meeting so many wonderful people and enjoying all of their traditions. And although doing what I want in life can be very, very satisfying, I do try to make time each day, especially when I'm walking my dog, a new dog, Bruce, up the Tweed. I'm trying to be grateful for everything I have and always to remember where I came from. And my family often say that I need to slow down a bit. Live in the moment. I'm sure there's a Latin expression for it, but live in the moment. So bear with me as I take a deep breath and just look around me. I feel honored to be here. Truly, truly honored. This is a one-off experience, so thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. Traveling to different places around the world has certainly opened my eyes, and it's given me tremendous satisfaction. Meeting new people, discovering how different cultures operate, and that helps you understand why people do things their way. It helps you sympathize with their situation. In my final years at work, in an international development role in a major corporation, it provided me with so many experiences. And when I got involved with Innerleithen community's link with the village of Tondwe in Malawi, and as you just heard, that's just celebrated a 15th anniversary, it almost felt like a gift, a retirement present, if you like, and the opportunity to use some of the skills that I had learned over my working years. And it provided me with a smooth transition into retirement and a renewed sense of purpose. But through great teamwork, all of the Innerleithen organizations that are involved in this link, the church, the school, the health center, businesses, and many individuals, and also Innerleithen, Walkerburn and Chiquare Rotary Club, plus, and very importantly, plus the enthusiasm of the twinned community in Malawi, we have accomplished a lot together. This link is a partnership of equals, and both communities giving and receiving. Everyone has something to share, as well as something to receive, and certainly something to learn. One of the really strengths of our community here in Innerleithen is that we look outwards, and the Malawi project is something anyone can be involved in. No expertise is needed, just a desire to make a friend in Malawi and maybe do something together. So please contact any of us who are involved if you're interested to learn more. Looking closer to home, if we can count any blessings from the COVID experience, I have to say it took many people on surprising journeys, some of which probably would prefer not to repeat. You remember all that elbow bumping and walking up and down the garden and across the streets? Something we probably want to forget. But of course there were hard times when we couldn't meet up with our families. But like everyone else, I had to look for adventures closer to home. So being someone with a curious, but probably modestly adventurous mindset, some of the excitement in our area satisfied my craving for something different. I discovered the delights of all the past that we have around Innerleithen, and the square loop where you've got a magnificent view of Innerleithen. The town of Innerleithen is magnificent up there. And I learned the joys of outdoor swimming with my next door neighbour Murray Charters, usually in a wetsuit I have to say, but we managed to cover 25 different locations, lochs and reservoirs, all within an hour of this town. It's all out there. And then the joys of taking on 22 peaks over 500 meters with the Tweed Valley blogger Stuart Wilson. That was great. So if a granddad can do it, there are so many micro adventures out there for us all, very close to hand. Get out there and do it. It's nearby. And I can't forget, of course, that I could write a book entitled Mountain Biking Adventures with my daughter Margot in the Tweed Valley, even though she always managed to get to the end of the trail before I did. I took my time. But for many of us, COVID ignited the desire to help others. We saw an uptake in volunteering and the happiness that that can give us. On a bike ride along the wonderful multi-use path that we've got from Walkerburn up to Peebles, a plan was hatched to sign up Innerleithen up for Cycling Without Age, the charity that aims to get people with mobility challenges outside into the community that they know and very much love. So the trishaw that we call the Cleikum Bell was bought by the Civic Trust. Community volunteers came forward to be pilots. They were trained, and it's now enjoyed by many of Innerleithen's elderly citizens and some not so elderly. So if you know of someone who would enjoy a free ride in the open air, or maybe you'd like to join the fun of being a pilot, get in touch. You'll have it, you'll enjoy it. Last Sunday on a visit to St Ronans care home, we met several of the residents who remember fondly their time at the games, and they wanted to say a few words to us. I have lived in Innerleithen since I was 12, and it's a lovely town. The folk are friendly. That was Winnie Watt. I love the silver band playing. I enjoy the week. Innerleithen is quite good. Peter Anderson. It's a good wee place, said Ronnie Dodds. Games Week means everything to me. I've enjoyed it since I was knee-high. I'm the oldest standard bearer alive. Jake Gibb. And Susie Karowski says, Innerleithen is a bonny wee toon. I like the closeness of everyone. You always meet someone to talk to, and I hope that will never leave us. It's really important that you can give people a smile as you're walking along the street. Say hi. Talk to as many people you can. It doesn't do any harm. I'd like to tell all the young principals that the traditions like St Ronans Border Games are an important part of our lives. You might ask us, why do traditions matter? Well, they give people a grounding, a place to belong to, and you don't have to be born in a place to feel that you belong by taking part in traditions like this. Traditions help give people a sense of belonging and an identity and a connection with the past. And this place is yours because you're adding to the history of it by being here tonight and taking part. Good memories will be made tonight and all of this week. I certainly will remember to continue looking outwards, but always remember the taking part, the traditions of our wee community, and what makes it such a great place to live in. Finally, I'd like to wish Rory and Emily, our standard bearer, and his lass all the very best for the year ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dennis, for your interesting and informative speech. Can I just ask you now to please present the medals to the Ducks Boy and Ducks Girl?
From the legend of St Ronan down through the centuries to 1100, and the first recorded history of the hamlet of Innerleithen, which seems to have derived the Celtic appellation from its insight from the influx of the Leithen with the Tweed. It appears in the record for the first time in connection with the church. Malcolm IV was on the throne, and his hunting lodge Traquair, which at present days is reputed to be the oldest inhabited house in Scotland. It is traditionally asserted that when in residence at Traquair, King Malcolm's son was accidentally drowned in the deep pool at the foot of the Leithen while on a hunting expedition. The body was recovered and carried to the church, which at that time was in the charge of the monks of Kelso. In recognition of this act, the king bestowed the right of sanctuary to this territory. It is believed that this church was situated on the hillside, somewhere between what we know as Kirklands and Caldhame. From this period, probably, a very slow development of the hamlet to the status of a village in the late 1700s, when industry made its appearance. 1827, a prominent year in its history and closely connected with our celebrations tonight. Picture a meeting room just off the present High Street, and join such personalities as Wilson, Hogg, and Glassford Bell, with presumably Sir Walter Scott in the chair. There, St Ronans Games, reputed to be the oldest organised sports meeting in Scotland, were born. Kit North and the Shepherd, wi' gentle Sir Walter, bright band o' immortals join in the refrain. March onward, St Ronan, let not your steps falter, while ye raise high the banner again and again.
Madam President, I return the blue banner of St Ronans unsullied and untarnished, and trust I have carried out my duties of office to the satisfaction of my fellow townspeople. My year in office as standard bearer has been a very eventful and enjoyable one. Rachel and I have been guests at many border festivals and enjoyed each one immensely. In each town received a warm welcome and made many new friends. I hope that some of the hospitality shown to us can be repaid to our guests here this evening. I would like to thank my supporters and their lasses for all their advice, my family for their help, and Rachel for accompanying me and helping me make this year so successful. Finally, I give my best wishes to my successor Rory and his lass Emily for a happy and rewarding year in office. Thank you.
Ex-Standard Bearer Ryan Simpson, I thank you for returning this standard safely to my keeping, unsullied and untarnished. You have worthily upheld your stewardship, and I wish you health and happiness in the years to come. Congratulations, Ryan. I now call upon Standard Bearer for 2024, Mr. Rory Murray. Rory Murray, it gives me great pleasure to install you as Standard Bearer for Innerleithen for 2024. You have been called to this high office, and your past record shows by word and deed that you justly deserve this honour. Guard this standard securely and bear yourself well, that you may long retain the trust of your fellow townspeople. As a memento of this occasion, I'd like to present you with your Standard Bearer's Medal. I now call upon Standard Bearer's Lass for 2024, Miss Emily Anderson, to sash the Standard Bearer and to bus the colour. Emily, as a memento of this occasion, can I present you with your Cleikum medal?
Madam President, Dennis, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honour for me to be chosen as Standard Bearer of my native town, which at this time celebrates its traditions associated with its history. To our Duck's boy Anthony, who tonight keeps alive the memory of our patron St Ronan, I tender my congratulations and best wishes for a successful year in office. As Standard Bearer for 2024, it will be my earnest endeavour to honour the memory of its founders of the St Ronans Border Games by carrying the blue banner of St Ronans for the ensuing year. My thanks go to Madam President, to my right and left-hand supporters, and you, ladies and gentlemen, for the reception accorded to me this evening. Thank you.
I now ask the standard bearer and lass to present the medals to the monks, sash girls and lantern bearer.
The Sash Girls, Primary 7, Millie McMath and Lexi Smiley. Primary 6, Alice Fleming and Edie Gaffney. Primary 5, Emily Banker and Neve Waterston. Primary 4, Poppy Farquhar and Rose Florida James. Primary 3, Maya Allen and Chloe Daw. And Primary 2, Ella Brown. The monks, Primary 7, Finn Campbell and Struan Coltman. Primary 6, Matthew Edwards and Archie McMurdo. Primary 5, Murray Kane and Warwick Mitchell. Primary 4, Angus McMillan and Gregor Scott. Primary 3, Cody McCudden and Harris Smolensky. And our lantern bearer, Alfie Confrey. This ceremony will now be followed by an act of remembrance at the War Memorial for the fallen in the 2 World Wars. Thereafter, a procession will be formed which will proceed by way of High Street to St Ronan's Well, the reputed location of Sir Walter Scott's novel. There, our newly installed standard bearer will drink of the water from the hands of St Ronan. The monks and principals will now recess through the hall, and the audience is kindly requested to remain seated till this has been completed.